Meet me tonight by the Mulberry Lake.
Alright, I had to grab a sweater. It's getting a bit cold out here. I also don't know how to make this any shorter, which is a little frustrating, because shorter is better, I think. Keeps people's attentions. What can I say? I think it's easier to come out in college, because high school is vicious. People give all these reasons why, but I don't think anyone knows how to fix it. I think it's important for people to be able to vocalize how they feel when they feel it, and sort of when they realize. But I do like the idea of blocking puberty in teens who express that. If a kid says they feel trans, and they identify that way, you should assess, you should do an assessment. They're very strongly feeling this way, you can block their puberty so they don't get those characteristics. Like, to be able to know that they can come out in high school safely and have support, because the more people coming out at a younger age, the more awareness it'll build towards the idea that this isn't something that happens out of the blue. It's sort of innate for the most part. And for people who identify that way and then grow up and don't want to go through hormones or surgery, what they thought they did when they were younger, it's not because they're not trans. They are just not from one end of the spectrum to the other. That's not how they identify. They're still trans. Like, it doesn't invalidate the fact that they don't want to be perceived as a woman. It just means they don't need to be perceived as a man or embody those characteristics, either physically or emotionally or, you know, socially. So, how can I put this? Because I don't want to say if you don't come into high school you're not brave, because I didn't come into high school. It's a terrifying idea, and it does take a lot of strength to do it. But if you don't feel safe, you should never do anything you don't feel safe about. That's my broken record speech. Like, name stuff, that was really unpleasant. First year, all the first year, I went through, and on the first day for a semester, I obviously didn't think about it, and they called attendance and called my old name, and I was like, oh god. And so after that, I went and talked to all my professors and just let them know that I didn't want to go by that name. And they were all very good about it. No problems there. But this is, I don't know, up in Canada, things are different. I don't know what teachers are like in the States. And then, I guess in second year, I got stuff changed. But it was still, I got better. Second year, first semester, I think I still had my old name. And so sometimes I'd remember to go to the professor before class and just say, hey, like, find my name and be like, hey, can you actually call me this for the rest of the semester? That'd be great. And they were all good with it. And then if I forgot, especially in second year, if I forgot and they called out my old name because I had been introducing myself as Kipling to everyone in my class and everyone I met, and they called out that name, it was very it was terrible. And then the funny part about that is half of my friends, when if I brought it up about how embarrassing it was, or like after when I came out to them, if I brought it up, anything, half of them were always like, oh, I didn't even notice. Hey, you think I paid attention in class? Crazy. No, I didn't know. So that's the other thing too, like, you get really hyper aware of everything that's going on, and a lot of the time most people aren't. They're just completely unaware and don't care and don't even notice these things, which I find is very interesting because it's such a stressful thing for us, and it doesn't have to be, apparently. What else? Teachers. The thing about teachers is they should be supportive, right? Like, if you want to be a teacher, you have to understand that you're going to be dealing with all sorts of people, all sorts of kids, their parents, all sorts of issues, right? And I mean, it's different because there are teachers who specialize with kids who have challenges, learning disabilities, stuff like that, and that's a bit more demanding. And a teacher who hasn't signed up for that, it would be hard for them to have to deal with that. I understand that, but being trans isn't the same as needing more attention to be able to learn. It's just needing more respect for who you are and understanding that you're still a person and need to be able to feel safe and comfortable in the classroom. It goes for all the students. So I think if a teacher gives you trouble, then that's something that really needs to be looked at, because that I feel is very inappropriate. If you want to be a teacher, you have to be accepting. That's what I think. Anyway, that and professors, I have a very different experience because the school I went to is quite new, very small. So the teachers, you get to know them and they get to know you, and you're not a number, you're a name, which is nice and not nice when you don't like your name, right? But mostly it's nice because you create these relationships with your teachers, and so it's easier for them to know that you're a good person and to be able to support you when you come out to them. Coming out in projects I did was something interesting, and that's sort of how I came out to a few of my teachers. We'd get an assignment. One of my classes was subcultures and media, so I looked at the transsexual subculture and how it's represented in movies, and so I don't know what it'd be like if you go to a very big university where the professors are more interested in conducting their own research and teaching is just a tool to be able to conduct that research, right? Those kind of people, I don't know how they would take it. I don't know if it's necessary to come out to them. I think the LGBT and queer community really need to show a lot of solidarity, because if it's just one person who's out and is trying to get stuff like this going, easy target. But if it's 10, 20 people together, all supporting each other, then it's a bit harder, right? And I mean, those people in that group are going to have friends who are part of the queer community, but are still supportive and allies. So then your group gets bigger and bigger, right? So if you are queer in high school, and that's hard too, because then I'm kind of saying you need to out yourself, but then the whole safety thing, oh, it's so complicated. But I do think if there's an individual in your school who's out, who's trying to get stuff going, and you see that they're getting picked on, maybe a way to make it get better is for you to stand up and support that person, and maybe not even say that you're queer. Like, people will assume, but you can deny it, and you can just say that you think it's wrong that they're picking on this person, and that you support them, and that's terrifying. In high school, it's really hard to stand up to bullies, and they make it seem easy sometimes. Their PSAs, it's not easy. Yes, strength in numbers. It's a little cat tail. Strength in numbers, right? Because there's never just one gay or queer person in school, right? Let's be perfectly honest here. Unless you're homeschooled, then it's quite possible. But in a school of like at least 2,000 kids, there are going to be a few. So get together, be good people. Violence begets more violence. Being polite, kind, nice people, and expressing your queer identity, I think will go a long way in the end. It's going to be hard, very hard, especially with trans identities. I'm sorry this video is so long. I can only imagine how long it is, and it's very just talky, no jokes or juggling or anything. I wish I could juggle. But hopefully my face will be better for next week, and I will see you then.